Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Build Different podcast. With me, as always, my co-hosts, lovely Ryan Dawes, the bootylicious Tristan Asta, and the charming William Chim once again. And my name is Jeanu. This time I didn't forget to say my name, so now you know it. We've got a very interesting topic today. I'm very much looking forward to our discussion. But first off, just how are you boys? How's the week been?
Good. Pretty good.
Yeah. What's
Same
new?
old?
Not bad. Bit of placement. Back to uni. I've got a maths unit. Good Lord, is that devastating.
Yeah, this is fun.
Understand maths. And it's
If you need some tutoring, let me know.
You got tutoring from Will again, the same as me.
yeah, man.
Well, I taught him how to do simultaneous equations. It was
I originally got him, but it's all right.
That sounds like something out of the Matrix. They're teaching us like grade 5 stuff, and I'm like, that's fantastic. What is this?
Nothing exposes how little you tried in primary school or high school, like a tertiary maths course. Like that's
Yeah.
just like, or like a subject.
Yeah.
Like,
And when
did I do
specifically-
anything in primary school or high school?
My
And the
favourite
unit
line is,
specifically called like teaching primary maths, and you're still like, I don't know any of this stuff.
my favourite line is, did you like maths in high school? And my line is, yeah, I dropped out in year 10. I dropped
And
out
there's like a awkward pause, they're like-
I dropped out of maths. I still went to, it's hard to tell, but I still went to school till year 12.
I actually didn't do math. Math wasn't compulsory in year 11 and 12 when I
Yeah, it wasn't. That's why I dropped it.
Mm.
I said, see you later. What about you two? Will, how'd you go during the
What are you
week?
trying to say?
During the week. Oh, same old, man. Just
What do you mean, you two?
uni. Yeah, just actually got a couple shifts this week for work. They rostered me on
Yeah.
for the Father's Day weekend. Dude, it was fucked. It was just so busy. Oh my god, I died.
People buy
Oh,
But,
so
um,
they click and collects, mate. They went out onto the street, onto the road, and that was hectic.
Yeah, so like,
That's
do you know the
it.
click and collects? Like, all the cars are all parked like outside, like our parking bay, all the way into like the street, and just like
Wow.
down to the freaking station. It was wild.
Wow.
Well, thankfully it
I'm
wasn't
so
raining.
glad I wasn't there. That's insane.
I mean, not like you work there.
Hey, listen, I'm
No,
going
I had to run, but you know,
Yeah, but I don't know. Nothing else for me. I was telling you before, Tristan. I have to find a new doctor now. Well, I don't know, because like my brother and I, we see the same doctor, and then he just came into my room like yesterday, and he's like, "Doctor so and so, he's gone," and I was like, "What do you mean he's gone? Like he's left? He's not in that clinic anymore." And I'm like, "Don't you know where he is? Didn't they tell you where he went to?" And then he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Well, now I've got to find a new doctor." You know, all those times you go there and for like 10 minutes, and you built up the relationship of 10-minute appointments over like so how many years? Now you got to do that all over again. I've got to find someone else to do that
oh
with.
my gosh,
When-
I still
when
gonna
you-
go to the same clinic, but
I don't know, maybe.
He was
But
last seen talking to the Mexican drug cartel, and no one knows where he is since.
it was a good doctor. It was chills.
When you
Uh,
opened with that and you were like, "Yeah, my doctor's gone," I'm like, "Yo, is this how Jeanu introduces the topic of his doctor, like dying?" Like, I'm like,
Yes.
Dad's like, "Yeah, we need a new doctor."
yeah, like when I was talking to Tristan about it, I on purpose I was like, I've lost my doctor. Like I've lost him. And Tristan, I know in Tristan's mind, he's like, did I like has
Where'd
he
he go?
passed away, or is he like missing? Is like a missing person, or
Is this like a Where's
my
Wally
God.
kind of thing?
You
Or
gotta put an ad in the paper, man. You gotta find this man.
all that's
Oh my
left
God.
on his office was just like a note, a ransom note, and like we're just trying to figure out where he is now. So
was that your doctor on the side of the milk carton that I saw? You're missing.
So season 3 of Outer Banks is Jeanu
Yeah.
finding his doctor.
this is how he weeds out the good patients, mate. The ones that are willing to take the extra step and find him.
Yeah, the day ones,
just
bro.
reward them
The
with
day
free like
ones.
medical care. First priority, free medical care.
Think of the fake ones. I need the real ones.
Keanu's got like the bat cave set up with like 3 giant screens, and he's just looking for his doctor. Like,
I bring my
So everything on like the bulletin boards and like all the ropes, all the strings just connecting where he might be.
Ryan, you get this, the Always Sunny in Philadelphia picture. You know, with Charlie Day when he's like this, and he's got his hand on his head, and he's got all the strings.
Oh, yeah, I know the one.
That's yeah. Ryan, talk to us about your week.
Yeah, it's a
Same
crazy one,
same old. Just trying to balance work, study. I had a big weekend. Obviously, much like Will, it was Father's Day weekend where we work. So some long hours, some long days, and a lot of deliveries and things like that. And uni's starting to really swing into gear with this particular subject. So the first few weeks are out of the way, so things are picking up steam there. Yeah, just I suppose the old balance, work life, uni, trying to socialize indirectly through Discord
All League of Legends.
With the boys.
with
Legends.
the boys. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but,
just nothing crazy new.
Yeah. How was Father's Day for you guys, Ryan?
Lonely.
It was really, really good. Yeah.
As soon as I said it, I was like, Will's going to say something.
No, it was good.
Damn, man.
Yeah, got some presents delivered to my
Like
dad.
did he like his GPS?
Sorry?
Do you like his present?
He did. I got him a dash cam because he carries
Nice.
on like a pork chop on the road. So it's got absolutely nothing to do with keeping him safe or protecting him. It's more, I just want to see the shenanigans he gets up to on the roads. Tristan can attest to this.
I'd watch a TV show of that.
Good old Ronnie's a bit of a menace. So it's really a self present. It's one of those, when you get someone a gift, but it's like, this is actually for me. I'm like, yeah.
Just get it for your own entertainment.
Yeah.
No, it's just like when you're like, oh, we should buy someone like a family member like an air fryer, but it's also you're going to use it as well.
I literally did that. I got my mum an air fryer. I got my mum a Philips air fryer for that reason. I use it more than her.
Oh, 100%. Air fryers are elite.
Yeah.
We use air fryer for everything. Did you guys go for the old socks and jocks for your old man or old men?
Look, I'm going to be honest here. I didn't get anything.
Oh.
I'm going to preface this. Oh, actually, no, not really preface. I've already said it. But I'm going to follow that up by saying it's my mum's birthday on Thursday. So most of the time, I'm always focusing on the mum's birthday more than the Father's Day thing because it's not really celebrated that much with us.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but like definitely like my family, not as much.
Yeah.
I think just spending time with him is more important anyway. So we just hang out for a bit and then, focus more on the mum's birthday at this stage.
I unfortunately didn't get to see my dad because he lives in Port Melbourne, so he's out of my phone.
Hey, me too, brother.
Let's not make this too depressing. But my dad is the king of guilt tripping. I love it. He's the king of guilt tripping when it comes to Father's Day because he's like, well, you're not going to see me. And I go, yeah, I know, Dad. I'm really sorry about that. He goes, so anyway, there's this aftershave that I really
So anyway, I heard about this YouTube and manscaping. I heard about it.
But he's always, what do you get me for Father's Day? You get me something nice for Father's Day? What do you want? No, nothing. What do you get me for Father's Day?
What Maya Briggs personality type you reckon that is, mate?
Segue.
Definitely an extrovert.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what my old man is. I think his personality type would be LOOPY because he's just absolutely cooked. For those
getting like some of our like older family members to do that and see what they get.
Oh, that'd be.
I didn't think that they would actually have ever done something like that before.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That would be pretty cool, actually.
But yeah, I guess we should segue that into the topic of today.
Well done, Ryan.
Good work, mate. You're just spawned for it. Or maybe it's Maybelline. Anyways. So today we'll be looking at the 16 personalities, otherwise known as a Myers-Briggs test. Basically what we've all done the test, and we're just going to talk about our results, whether we agree or disagree with them, and just, I guess, explore that whole, I guess, Myers-Briggs personality test, horoscopes, all that kind of stuff, and how we think it applies to us, or if it even does. Any thoughts so far, boys? What do you think? Just coming into the once you've learned about the topic, what did you think about this, and whether it's a big part of your life or you don't really care much about it? Like, what are your thoughts?
I want to preface by saying I was holding my healing crystals while I was. I'm sorry if anyone listening to this actually believes in that stuff. I don't judge, but it's just. I actually, you know what? I want to start off by saying I used to use this. So if you know me a couple of years ago. Now a few years ago, I never knew what I wanted to do. And I was, like I said in the first episode, I always look for that one answer. I used to do personality tests upon personality tests going, what's my career path? What is my career path?
I know.
Once, like looking, I was expecting it to go, hi, Tristan, this is what, like some kind of factory, and I was stamped on the head.
Futurama. You get the
like Futurama, the chip in your hand. But now, kind of aging as gracefully as I am with my luscious locks of hair, I've come to realize that this is, it's so bogus in my opinion.
It's like you're going for a job and the interviewer's like, so what makes you think you'd be, a good fit for this role? It's like, Well, I did one of those BuzzFeed personality tests, and it told me
Yeah, have a look.
I'd be a great fit here.
Right after BuzzFeed told me what kind of Disney princess I'd be, it also told
Yeah.
me to be a really good person for this job.
Yeah, what type of tree I am? Yeah,
Naruto Kuroto am I?
yeah,
Are you an apple or a pear?
yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. What did you guys think of it? Because I'm thinking it was pretty rubbish.
Much like Tristan, I came in swinging with a very, very heavy dose of skepticism. Look, I do know a little bit about the Myers-Briggs, I suppose, test, and I know.
Tell us what you know. I'm curious to see what you know.
Okay.
I didn't do too much. What's it called? Research into
Research.
it. So I'd be interested to know what you know about it and its background, if you know any.
Yeah, so essentially in the psychological scientific community, it's kind of pretty much accepted as pseudoscience, and it's not really something that's actively pursued or used clinically. Most of the evidence justifying it is very, very methodologically flawed, and a lot of it's actually like a lot of the studies that came out are from like the Myers-Briggs Association or partners thereof, etc. And it's kind of just like a few experts in the field like describe it as, what was it? I can remember reading it the other day. Kind of like a glorified fortune cookie. And it relies heavily on like confirmation bias and like the personality types themselves being so vague that everyone can be like, hey, that is me. It's like kind of like that whole horoscope phenomenon.
Yeah,
where it's like,
I want to talk about that as well. That confirmation bias. They're just like people want to they make it as vague as possible, obviously, so that people can be like, that part, that's me.
It's like when I read my Leo horoscope, and it's like, you're gonna like get up feeling good this morning, and I'm like, holy shit, man! I got up and I felt good. It's like
You
anyone.
will breathe today.
Yeah.
You will
There's
breathe.
also that reverse as well, where like they want to feel good, so then they read that, they're like, I want to feel good.
Yeah,
So
it's actually
not a bad
really
thing. It's not always a bad thing. So,
it's a really interesting psychological phenomenon. It's actually got a name. It's called the Barnum effect, where it's like you have these personality tests describe you as a subtype or something that's so vague and widely applicable that it's very easy to get that buy-in.
yeah. I guess for say for this one, there's a bit more. Just because there's more different types versus the horoscope, there's less of them.
Yeah.
So I guess with this one, I guess the selling point is that it's more specific. I guess I'm not sure exactly, but that's what I'm guessing from common sense and what you've been saying. Will, what did you think about it?
I thought it was pretty interesting. Like some of the points of like what I got was, it spoke a bit of volume. I'm like, I can kind of see like, I'm this person or that type of person, but then there were some other parts where I kind of disagreed. I'm like, am I really? Like, I don't know. It's just it was just pretty, like, it was just fun to do and like interesting to see what type I am, and then reading through it and like, deciding whether or not I am like this type of or whether or not I have those type of traits or what I disagree on, or so I thought it would be like a pretty fun discussion for this podcast.
Yeah. One of the parts that got me, which was really funny, is the questions. Some of the questions were so out there. One of them was, how often do you try different things? And in my head, I was looking at it and I'm like, I've got ADHD, so quite a lot. But I don't think that's a personality trait. Like, I think that's more of a, something's going on. Like, you ask my poor mother, the amount of Christmas presents that I've got that are in this wardrobe behind me, guitar, keyboard, like, I've tried everything and I've dropped it. It's like, okay, yeah, but I don't know how well I'll relate to that. Is it like a sub-question?
No, I think I have ADHD. I got those presents too.
But that's a common thing, man. That's a very human thing, to try new things and find things we enjoy and abandon things we don't enjoy anymore.
It is.
Like we've all got, we've all got the garage full of things we tried for 3 weeks, and we got skateboards and we got like all types of shit in there, man. We got like all different things, and you're like, hey, that looks cool. I'm going to order that. Oh, cool. Use it for 2 days, and you're like, I'm not going to be Tony Hawk. I'm just going to accept it.
Turns out I'm not good at it.
Right. Yeah. This is why you just borrow things first, all right? You just borrow things from people and you use it and you give back to them,
Yeah. My new one's a telescope. That's what I'm getting into now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty cool.
What's it called? The sky? What's it called? Space?
Space? No, I'm using it to look directly into the sun in the middle of the day. That's what I want. That's
Yeah.
what the telescope's
You want
for.
glasses that badly?
I know you go, Tristan.
Well, no. If you were continuing on the same
No,
point,
no. Oh, were you segueing into something new?
yes, I was. I was.
Okay. Before we even get into it, my biggest thing with these sort of personality type tests is I think that like people can buy into them very easily because they can kind of my biggest critique with them is they can nearly be used as a crutch for bad behavior, like or behavior that's not good. People
it's
are like,
very
oh, that's
Especially what's going around in like social media.
yeah, people use it as a crutch to justify like things like just bad behavioral habits and things like that. Like, oh, it's just my personality type. It's like it's kind of like horoscope people. They're like, my Mercury's in retrograde. You know, like it can just be
Yeah.
used as a crutch for.
It's not me,
behavior.
it's my Scorpio.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's and as humans, or I suppose as a species, we're very quick to we're very eager to label and diagnose and put people in these neat little boxes. Like I'm in, I don't know, INTFJ BCD like type thing. That's my personality type. That's why I'm the way I am. And
Yeah.
we know that humans and we're so much more complex than that. And there's so many environmental and genetic and all these different factors that play into how you perceive the world and how you act.
Right.
I think it's super reductionist to boil it down to, hey, this is my personality subtype and this is why I am the way I am. I think
It's so weird because
cop-out.
people make that their personality type.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so weird. But in,
Yeah.
like on the other hand, like I guess it can be good. Like there's some good to it as well. There's like the affirmation of like believing in
Right.
yourself, of like certain qualities that you have. If you read it and you see it, you're like, oh, I am that person. I am this confident person. And I guess you can become more confident from that as well. But I guess it just depends how people take it. Like it's with everything. I think it's interesting and it's good in moderation. But like to take it too far to one end, it just ends up making it like becoming a negative. Really.
Right.
Yeah, but having that conscious effort of what you're doing and like exactly like Ryan couldn't hit the nail on the head any better. It's that it's Libra season, so get your red flags out kind of thing. Like no, it's not. You shouldn't have red flags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, with what Ryan said, which is what I was going to say before, is to me, personality is something that's kind of formed into you. You're not born as an int J or whatever we were calling it.
Yeah.
Like you're not born as this or that. Like you're born as a blank slate, and then these environmental factors and genetic factors build on top of that, and then you become the person you are. Ryan, I mean, we're obviously going to get into this at a later podcast, but you can't tell me, Ryan, that you were born with a fit mind and someone that wants to strive for fitness and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Well,
look, personality
it
itself
wasn't
is a
born
very
with a smooth
fluid
brain.
concept. It's
Right.
like you might look back in 60 years and think about your 20s where you were this really confident, outgoing person, and in your 30s you became more introverted and you just did your own thing for a while, and then maybe in your 40s you became a bit of a socialite, and you like that's what personality is. It's this ever-changing, fluid amalgamation of all your experiences and the way you interact with the world.
Yeah. In saying that, let's get into these
Yes, let's jump in.
personality types. Let's get into these one-dimensional personality types.
Yes.
Who's starting? I reckon, Gia, you want to jump into the ring?
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that. So I'll say that I have done this before. I've done it. I guess this is my third time doing it. The first time was maybe a couple of years ago now when it just first started coming out, and then the second time was maybe a couple of months ago. And each time I did get the same or similar each time. So I guess at least if not once,
It's consistent.
it's consistent at least.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just start off. I don't know how do you want to go about this? I guess I'll just say what it is, and maybe I can read the introduction.
Yeah, just give us an outline of what it
See
is.
how we go from there. All right. So I got ENFPA. So that's a campaigner. All right. So what that is?
It's like an MMO. This is your class, bro. This is
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a campaigner, man. I'm a
Where's the
paladin.
DM? Where's
I'm a
the
healer.
We can play some D&D, bro.
Yeah.
A campaigner is someone with the extroverted, intuitive feeling and prospecting personality traits. These people tend to embrace big ideas and actions that reflect their sense of hope and goodwill towards others. Their vibrant energy can flow in many directions. They are true free spirits, outgoing, open-hearted, and open-minded. With their lively, upbeat approach to life, they can stand out in any crowd. But even though they can be the life of the party, campaigners don't just care about having a good time. These personality types run deep, as does their longing for meaningful emotional connections with other people. That's the introduction. I guess I'm curious to see what you guys think first, and then I'll say what I think about that. So, like, do you agree or with that? I guess it's, again, we're gonna say again, it's all supposed to be very broad, but do you agree specifically in terms of that applying to me?
What can I do?
Yes
Just you
and
being
no.
extroverted and very out there, but then yeah, like you always want people to have like a good time, knowing like you at like different parties or just like when we're going out to dinner. Especially when you always want to like you always offer to come pick me up as well. That's already putting my things into consideration, and so like in that aspect, I can like 100% agree. But
Yeah.
What don't you agree with, Tristan?
The first time I met you, I remember this distinctly. Hey man, I'm Tristan. Jeanu. Oh, righto.
Jeanu.
So
You know what? I don't remember that at all. So it must be.
I think I remember. You know, it's like in the movies. You know when you see your first true love. That's what you had. You had the aura around you, and then the angels were singing, but it just turned out to be mine. But yeah, it's that sense of like, again, I'm going back to that same point I made before. But I agree and I don't agree. I think you're going to be an amazing teacher and an amazing leader in that sense. But I don't think when you started your course compared to now, you had that same strength, or as in you still had that
Oh
strength.
no, definitely not. Like I want to like build on that. What you're saying, like I definitely wasn't the same person I was 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Even I can even like hand the ball to Ryan here because he's known me the longest technically out of you three, and he would know how I was like in high school versus now, right? And
Right.
But you and I have been the most intimate.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. Not gonna lie.
Keep that on the down low.
Year 7, Miss Railton's class, represent.
But yeah, so Ryan, what do you think?
I think it's easy to get psychological buy-in when they use all these positive buzzwords and it makes you feel good because like every one of these descriptions is like it nearly sounds like a sales pitch, like it's all these positive
Right.
things, but I think a lot of them apply to you, but I think a lot more things apply to you than just what's listed there. I think you're just generally a good person, and a good person is like gonna exhibit all those things and more.
Yeah,
so I think they're just listing what I nearly feel like they're just listing the traits or the behaviors of people who are just really good people. And I genuinely think you are a good person. And I think that's why so many of those tick boxes resonate with you.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see how we go with the other sort of subheadings because they get a bit more specific. Saying that this
is like strengths and weaknesses and stuff.
If I can be like I can pick out a certain experience and be like, oh yeah, that did happen to me, and that really applies to me. And then just you go first, Ryan.
The only thing I want to delve a little bit into is: do you feel like you're an extroverted person?
Yeah, so actually, I was about to answer that. So with what Will said as well, so people see me as like obviously you see what I project out. That's what you see. But in feeding into that, I do that because that's what you think of me as well. And that's happened to me. That's something I realized in the last couple of years or so, that I wasn't always as confident or as outgoing and easy to talk to as I am now. Even I've got a long way to go in saying that, but once people sort of started thinking that I was that person, it made it easier for me to pretend to be that person. And even now, I don't feel like I am that person, but I sort of just play my role, I guess.
So do you just do it like subconsciously, like naturally?
Yeah, it's almost like faking it till you make it. And that's actually the mindset I had.
It kind of molded you into it, just from people's expectations.
Like definitely.
Yeah. That I can see, because I've seen Jeanu. I've known you for a long time, so I've seen you when you were quieter and less outgoing, and I've seen you essentially evolve into the person you are now. Not whether that's good or bad. I've just seen that development happen. And you are definitely a lot more outgoing and a lot more confident. And I agree. It's one of those things that people expect from you. And I know I've experienced the same thing. Like I nearly have this expectation in the people I interact with and the circles I'm in where I have to be this loud, confident, outgoing person. And you nearly have to fit. Like you have to like really fall into that role. And it nearly feels like that's the expectation.
Or even like if all of us, we've all worked with the JB, and like people that work at JB, you think, oh, this person are really outgoing, easy to talk to. So then when you're out there on the sales floor, you're talking to people, you're like, yeah, I have to be that person.
You have to be approachable and you have to be relatable.
Yeah, it's literally like, I'm even when I go to work, it's easier to talk to people because I know I'm at work.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm in that mindset where I'm at work, I can talk to anyone, it's fine. But as soon as I'm not working, I clock off. It's not as easy to talk to anyone. Not like
If
just
you see
randomly.
Gia outside of work, please don't talk to
Don't
him.
talk to me. All right?
Right.
He turns
I'm
into
this close
Scrooge,
to
mate.
just like exploding. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess again with what Ryan's saying, I agree, but also it's not that specific. So we have to see how we go moving forward.
Harking on about these labels again, do you agree with the idea of like extroverted people or introverted people? Because I think most people I meet are really just I don't even like those labels full stop, because I think most people are both, in the sense that, like, sometimes they enjoy other people's company, and we're human, we're social creatures, we like to typically we like to interact with other people, but sometimes that's a bit much and we like our own space. And I don't know anyone who's not like that. I don't know anyone who I'd say is a fully extroverted person. I don't think I've ever met someone who's a complete introvert. I think depending on everything that's happening in your life or how you're feeling at a certain particular time, I think everyone's just a combination of both. I think sometimes you like to be around people and sometimes you don't like to be around people. And I don't think you gain any value by labeling yourself as I'm an extrovert.
I think it's just
I'm
more
an introvert.
like I definitely agree, but I think it's just more like there isn't. You're right. There's not one or the other, but I think it's just that there's more percentage. Say, for example, for percentage wise, so an introvert would just be introverted 80% of the time versus 20% of the
Yes,
time.
okay.
And then
There'll be like a
that way
big
they would
part
say
and then
it's
like that smaller
introverted,
part, and there's always like they
Yeah.
always have both, but obviously most of the time will be like one person with a bigger percentage and a
and
smaller.
then that's why they would identify.
Yeah, I
as
see that. I see that.
Yeah.
I do understand that there are people that are
I actually
more one way or the other, but
I've got to admit, I learned that fact real cemented when I met, I reckon, the three of you more than anybody else, because I've never met more people that are like, let's go out, let's get a bite to eat. Will and Gia love to go out to their I want to say hardstyle concerts, but whatever. Fiesta,
Concerts, yes.
Concerts. Sure.
That's what I tell my mum.
music.
I'm like, Mum, I'm going to a concert.
I've never met like anyone else that does. Well, I have, but just I haven't known them, I guess. That goes, let's go out Saturday night, but Friday night I'm staying in to play League of Legends, or let's go out this Friday, but next Friday night we're staying in and we're just going to sit on Discord and chat. Like, sure, that's an element of being extroverted because we're talking to each other, but you're also at home. Like, I know we would all pass up the opportunity to go for drinks because we feel like staying home and watching a Ghibli. You know what I mean? Like, so I think I agree with Ryan 100%, but I also agree with Gia in the sense that it's like, so I agree with both of you, that it's the percentage. I'm the same.
So there's no like 100% this or that, but there's always like just a larger percentage of something else.
That's it.
Just
I think a
within
lot of
all of
people
us.
fall into that category.
Yeah, 'cause I know people that be like, I'm introverted, and then I'm like, okay.
But then we can go back to Ryan's point of using it as a crutch for, I wouldn't say bad habits, but I'd say for habits.
Yeah.
Like, you might say you're extremely introverted, but you might have a case of social anxiety. And then when it comes time for you to actually have to talk to someone because you've been telling yourself you're introverted, and this and that, it might be a bit of an issue. Whereas I think everyone can be an extrovert when they need to be, just a different.
I think I might even be a little guilty of that, thinking that I'm an introvert and then kind of like that subconsciously just stops me or like hinders me from talking to people. And they'll be like, 100%. It must be because I'm like introverted,
People lean into these labels and you're right, it's not necessarily for bad behavior. It's neither here nor there, but people lean into these behaviors nearly because it's like, I'm an introvert, I'm not supposed to go and approach that person. Like, it's literally, it's a label. It's meaningless. It means nothing. Like, it shouldn't dictate the way you behave or prevent you from doing things. If you want to approach a person and talk to them about, I don't know, something they're wearing or whatever it be, like if you want to approach and talk to this person and strike up conversation, you think, no, I'm an introvert. You nearly psychologically like dampen yourself. Like you just like, no, I can't approach them. It's kind of just like I think it just takes away from the enjoyment of life, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it would just be like my social anxiety, to be honest.
And that's a thing that can be not necessarily removed, but it can be something that you can work around.
Yeah.
Then when you're in social situations, you're not downing yourself and you're actually enjoying it because you're not sitting in the corner going, my social battery has run out. Yeah, social batteries kind of exist, sure. But it's, again, not an excuse, not a crutch. I could personally say it as well. I've always been touted as is that the right word? as the funny one, or the one that always makes jokes, or the one that
Yeah.
makes it quick. And so then I've always felt like sometimes in situations I've got to make a joke,
Hmm.
whereas sometimes
I
I'm just
see.
like, I want to make a joke.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point, like, let's say before we started the podcast, Ryan, when I said to you, I said, you're looking good today, Ryan. Part of you is like, is he taking the piss?
He's
Is
teeing
he
something
Yeah,
up. He's teeing something up.
absolutely. Yeah.
because it's that kind of like, oh, Tristan always makes jokes, but I'm being dead serious. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, as in, I genuinely think you're looking good today.
Never
So
said
that's
that
where
about
that
me.
kind of like, you're right there.
When he's like, I'm out to make a joke, I'm like, "Wah, bah, 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 bah."
And look, I'm always good for a joke, but sometimes like I'd like that always, taking the piss kind of idea of me to be forgotten about. So then they can say,
Yeah.
oh, Tristan's being legit here.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not going to talk to you about hair care, but sometimes I'm, being legit about the things I
You
say.
did it again, bro.
You can't help yourself,
You
mate.
can't help
It just comes out. I can't help myself
I'm
sometimes.
trying to
Oh
take
my
it seriously,
God.
guys, and then cracks a joke. Come on.
It's almost like to lighten the situation. I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
how to do it. Who's up next for this personality? Oh, let's go with Will.
Oh, me. Okay. Let me read my introduction. Let me find it.
Young
actually.
Willie, Free Willie.
I
on
think
the
the
beat.
Free
next
Willy?
three are going to be quite similar, so we can.
Yeah. So I got an ENFJA, and so it's a protagonist personality. A protagonist is a person with the extroverted, intuitive feeling and judging personality traits. These warm, forthright types love helping others, and they tend to have strong ideas and values. They back their perspective with creative energy to achieve their goals. Protagonists feel called to serve a greater purpose in life. Thoughtful and idealistic, these personality types strive to have a positive impact on other people and the world around them. They rarely shy away from an opportunity to do the right thing, even when doing them is far from easy. So that was the introduction of that.
Tell me, Will. It says you try to have a positive impact on people's life. Do you agree with that, or do you try to have a negative impact? That umbrella thing that Ryan was talking about. It's like,
Yeah.
doesn't everyone go out there to try and have a positive
Yeah.
impact?
It's like, that's it. Who's going to read that and be like, no, that's not right. I like to make others feel miserable.
Like,
Right.
There's someone out there.
I mean, in saying that, I do feel that way. Just like being, nice and trying to just support everyone in what they want to do, like their endeavors and all that stuff. Obviously, I don't want to put anyone down just because,
Yeah. But then
Not
I guess
that, like-
on the other side of what Tristan was saying, like obviously there's no one that wants to make a negative impact, but do we see Will as someone that's above and beyond other people?
yeah, I
just thought like Tristan was like, I just love that it was. Do we see Will? But we're basically asking, is Will better than the average person? And Tristan was like, you know what? Like, there was
It's like he's just
contemplation
counting in his head how
that
many times I roast him about his hair. He's like,
he's just really thinking, how much do I like this person?
No, I was thinking more of examples that I could use because I do agree with it, but I can't just say, yeah, I agree, whatever. But I'm thinking
Right.
more, yeah, like you do in a sense, but it's more in the form of catching up with people. I feel like you put in a great effort to check in on people as well.
right.
How
Sometimes
I
I'll just hit you up, be like, hey, I miss you. And you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Look, and
I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in a while, man. Like, catch me up.
like that's the thing, and it's like, and whenever we'll go for a walk during lockdown or something, you always told me about, I've been friends with this person for years. We don't really talk much, but when we do, it's pretty good. And it's that sense of like, sure, you're not going out there saving old ladies from derailed trains and like stopping a bank robbery, but you're doing your own thing. So I think 100%.
Right.
But at the same time, I've never seen you go out there and go, it's a good day to make someone want to neck themselves.
I don't think that's any of us.
Well, if you're not a fan of that, don't go on walks with me, mate.
What's that? You're depressed? Just finish the job, man. Like, you don't walk out there going, let's be negative today.
All right.
But,
One of those days.
the
Mercury's
part
meant to be
about
voice.
being like extroverted as well. I personally don't think I'm as out there as that label has to like, put me out to be. I honestly think I'm like just kept to myself a lot of the time, unless I'm asked upon, or unless people approach me. Like for example, at work, I don't think I would have approached Tristan at work, just like on my first day or whatever. And I'm so glad that you, I'm so glad that you approached me. And then that just kind of escalate, or it segued into everything else. That it just opened so many doors into so many different topics, and a great friendship, like something that I couldn't have initiated right from the get go. And so it's hard for me to just speak to people, and that's just probably part of my social anxiety, which is like what I'm trying to like really grasp right now.
So for you, there's a bit of struggle relating the fact that this particular personality type characterizes you as an extrovert,
or whereas like you feel outgoing person.
Yeah, whereas you feel like you're a bit more reserved. I don't think that would be inaccurate. I think you're a bit more of a reserved person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that umbrella.
But I just don't stop talking if you talk to me.
Well, that's everyone though.
Yeah.
And I think
we all love a chat.
We all have a good chat.
Right.
But
some more than others.
Is that a shot? Was that a stab at somebody?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Get too, Brute.
Damn, so defensive.
Do you want to dip into the
some more than others, Ryan? That's a shot, mate. Don't worry. I don't hold
Will,
back.
do you want to dip into the us meeting saga? Do you want to leave that to another day?
Yeah, we can dip into it. So
let me just preface. I'm not racist. I really promise I'm not.
Oh boy.
If you ever say something like, don't be offended, or I'm not racist, probably that thing.
Just hear the story and you'll understand, because it's not what I meant. It's more of something from something I love, not from something that's stereotypical.
Oh boy.
So I was just, first day at work, I was learning how to work the computers and how to process orders online and stuff. And out of nowhere, this guy just comes up to me. It's like, "Hey, you new here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Will. Like, how are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Tristan. By the way, do you by any chance like anime?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do actually." And so we talked about that for like 5 minutes before he had to go do some work, right? And then
I call bullshit. This story's not real.
I'm doing work.
Tristan going to do work? No way. Man.
Oh, okay, yeah, that part's a bit. No, I think
5 minutes. Would have been at least 10.
I think that was the same day as the power drill incident, where I started running around the back room with the power drill, but that might be something different.
Right, so he leaves to do some work, comes back like 10 minutes later. Like, I'm still trying to learn everything. I thought nothing of it. And he's like, "By the way, I asked you if you liked anime, not to be racist, just because I genuinely enjoy it." And I looked at him and I'm like, now that you brought that up, now you're making me feel as if it was a race thing, you know? Like, I didn't think about it at the start. Like, I thought nothing of it. But now that you brought it up, I'm like, it got me thinking a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, we banter about that all the time. Like, we just joke around all the time, so...
It was a good friendship start.
It was good.
For those playing at home, I do have an anime category, so I do love my anime. Yeah, like I'm not racist.
Debatable.
But yeah, I'm glad that you came up to me though. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Well, I can talk more about that when it's my turn. But Ryan, yours and mine are basically the same. I think. Do you want to tell us?
Mine was the same as Will's. Mine, unless you also have the. Actually, mine's CHAD, Chad. That's the personality type I got. It didn't even give me a score. It just said, "You're done. Leave." It said, "Why are you doing this personality test? Go for a run, mate." So I think I might have malware on my computer. No. So I got protagonist ENFJ-A. So there's a subtype there of some sort, for whatever that's worth. So I got traits: extroverted, 63%; intuitive, 52%; feeling, 61%. So I feel things. I have feelings. So I mean,
only 61%.
Only 61%.
Only 61%, mate.
68% judging. So
that should be much higher.
And assertive, 56%. So not submissive. Good. Very good.
That's not the opposite. The opposite is turbulent.
Yep, my role is diplomat, and my strategy is people mastery. And as I say this out loud, I realize how much waffle all this stuff really is. But yeah, mine's pretty much identical to Will's in terms of the ENFJ subtype.
Right.
Warm, forthright types, love helping others, and they tend to have strong ideas and values. But as I read through all this, it's like, where is it? Like protagonists tend to be vocal about their values, including authenticity and altruism. It's like, who's gonna read that and be like, yeah, I'm not authentic at all. I'm actually a really fake person. So this doesn't really gel with me. Like, it just, yeah, it's that.
But okay, look, just look at this for a second, not as Ryan does, but as someone that's bought into this stuff.
I definitely agree with aspects of this in the sense that like there's definitely things like in other tests I've done and circles I've run with and things that I think are correct. Like I am attracted to leadership roles. I like to try to be a leader and help people where I can, and that's obviously stuff that's listed here. And there's definitely a few things I think are spot on, but I also think that's driven by the fact that it's based off the answers. Okay, so I agree that obviously I think this definitely encapsulates the type of person you are. I don't think it should be anything more than that. It's kind of just nearly like a bit of a snapshot of the type of person you are, but I don't think it should be used as really anything. That's where I stand.
Yeah.
I think
obviously the more questions you throw at you, the more specific you're going to get. So obviously we answer those questions.
Like it's if you answer 50, I don't know, was it 100 or 50
something
questions
like that,
or so? You answer so many questions, whether it's computer generated or not, it's going to have a pretty good gauge, I suppose, of the things that are important to you. Yeah,
I think unspecified.
Yeah, so look, I do understand. I do read aspects of this that I do agree with. But
I mean, I agree with the fact that one was it the part about being outspoken about the altruistic and was it and values. That will apply more to you than I'd say us three.
Yeah,
would you agree with that? Yeah,
100%.
Like I can see that part where it's like, Ryan's a bit more vocal in terms of what he believes and stands in. Because I know, for example, we're at work or wherever we are, we're talking about a certain topic. You'll come in and be like, unprovoked. You'll come in and be like, "This
absolutely no one."
Ryan was. I'm like, no, you're wrong, and here's why. Bang, and then all this like medical knowledge and
I
like
got those PubMed links, bro.
Research suggests this and that. I've read this. I was just casually reading this other day, and I read this, and then like that's more.
I've done a little bit of research on this, and I think
that's definitely more you than us, and I agree with that. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I agree with that, and that's who you are. And
I see that.
But coming back to our point near the start, Ryan didn't come out of the womb. Yes, came out.
Yeah.
Like as a smart person, but you were built into that. You didn't come out of the womb going, I actually researched while I was in the womb. You know what I mean? Like,
but I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Again, not trying to lean into these labels too hard because I do disagree with them. But I suppose if you had grabbed Ryan out 2014 Ryan, like year 12 graduate Ryan, along with Jeanu, I would have classified him, I suppose, as quote unquote an introvert, I guess. Yeah. But that was, again, I don't think I was necessarily born an introvert. It was just my personality, I guess, at the time. Whereas now, I would classify myself, if I had to, gun to my head, as an extrovert. But again, I think I'm going to look back in 80 years and have I think I'd be able to say at very different points in my life, I was all these different things, and I was all these different quote unquote personalities.
Right.
I think it's much more fluid than what we think.
100%. I think you hit the nail on the head from the start of it, and I think that was pretty well done because you set a tone for the entire chat. Like for people listening at home, they're not going to go into it going, "Oh, these guys really, really were clutching onto their healing crystals," kind of thing.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to burn the whole
no. People that have healing crystals.
Well, we all agree, and like I said, I think you kind of kept us on this track, which is really good. But we all agree with it anyway. And again, that leadership thing, I'm going to segue this into mine if you guys don't mind. That leadership thing is something that you learn. It's not something you're born with. Mine was ENFJT for Tristan.
I wonder how that differs from the ENFJA.
There's a thing underneath that says what's the difference, so we'll get back to you on that one for those playing at home. Mine was 73% extroverted, 27% introverted, 55% intuitive, 63% feeling. So I feel a little bit more than Ryan, just a little bit though. 58% judging and 68% turbulent, whatever that turbulent.
T for turbulent.
I'm basically a jet. Turbulent. Couple of things in here that like protagonists are born leaders. No, that to me, the second I read that, I was like, yeah, that's a no thanks from me. Which explains why these personalities can be found among notable politicians, coaches, and teachers. With me, the same as Ryan, I like to think of myself as a leader of a person, or I try to push myself that way to be a leader of people. But me 10 years ago, 110% would never have done that. 110% would never have thought that. I started to idolize people, and I started to look up to mentors and people, athletes that I absolutely love. Dyson Heppel is one, for instance. For those who don't know, he's the captain of Essendon Football Club.
Up the Bombers.
Go the Bombers. He's someone that I looked up to because I saw him as being a really down-to-earth person and a leader. So what I started to do was I started to pick apart his demeanor, and I started to pick apart these little things that I'd look into and I'd research that he did. Same as Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all those kind of things, right? And I worked on them. So I worked on these things such as jumping into things head first and, not being afraid of failure and, being empathetic towards people that have failed and listening to those that have done things before. So when I read it, I was kind of like, yeah, in a sense, yes, but I'm not born a leader. I kind of pushed myself into leadership.
Is anyone born a leader?
No.
I don't think they are.
But one thing that you guys haven't touched on, which is my favorite part of this thing, is did you guys see the people you're compared to?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Protagonists,
Barack Obama.
Just so you guys know, I'm similar to Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck. So,
Really?
Yeah. So I think we're all pretty...
Yeah.
Gia, who are yours?
You interested, mate? I'll tell you.
Where does
I'm
it say
actually
this?
very interested.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Oh,
Quentin
wow.
Tarantino.
Rest in peace, baby boy.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Tony Stark himself.
It should have been called Robert, mate. Here we go, yeah. John Cusack. How do I know that name? He's an actor, isn't he? He's pretty
Yes, he is.
Joan Cusack's brother.
Oh.
Will Smith. Will Smith. Alan DeGeneres.
That's not a joke.
Oh.
Ellen DeGeneres. Will Smith.
Spider-Man. I'm also compared to Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay, that's bullshit.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, that's all.
Sean Connery, Jennifer Lawrence. Protagonist you may know, Daenerys Targaryen. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. I look in the mirror and I say, you are. I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I say,
I am
you
a
are
dragon.
Dragon. Breaker of Chains.
Dragon.
Mother of Dragons, whatever. But one thing I kind of wanted to touch on is there's certain things in this world of spirituality and labels that I really do agree with. And we can obviously touch more on another episode, but manifestation.
Right.
I've been looking into manifestation a lot because I find it funny that people go, I manifested this. And
Manifest.
yeah, like I manifested myself getting this job and I got the job. And I looked into it and I go, surely manifestation's a bit bullshit, like to a certain degree. But then I remember watching on my way to Queensland, the Conor McGregor documentary. And now I'm not for one for who he is now, but his path to glory was pretty cool. But there's footage of him eating frozen fish out of the freezer every day with a stack of bills that he needs to pay this big, going, one day I'm going to be a UFC champion. And it kind of, and he goes, I'm manifesting it. You watch me manifest it. And it kind of led me to look into manifesting and the psychological sides of it. It's a pretty legit thing.
Is that just a fancy 2021 term for just being driven and pushing yourself? Like working hard or something? Like, is that just
I guess it goes hand in hand.
Is that just renaming a common thing?
But it's more of the fact that if you sit there, Ryan, and you tell yourself, I'm going to do this marathon. I'm going to do this marathon. And you tell yourself, you keep telling, I'm going to do this marathon. It seeps into your subconscious. So then instead of the universe taking control of your life and this and that, you're subconsciously taking these steps towards like running that marathon.
Yeah.
So that's what people don't. So when people kind of say manifestation's bullshit, doesn't really work, that's where it's kind of legit, because you kind of tell yourself, and it kind of seeps into that subconscious. And
Yeah, but sometimes it's not even subconscious. Sometimes it's just like, I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Other
Sometimes it
people
is.
it's not like that. It
But
depends
I
on the
feel
person.
like that's
And
not
then again, there's other people that think about manifestation, but then they sit there and do nothing. Nothing ever happens, and they're trying to manifest something, and then they sit in their bedroom all day, and then they complain about nothing happening in their lives.
That's it, 100%. Those people that don't actually end up doing it. So there is an element of you do need to work hard and you need to have good work ethic. But I thought that was just a pretty cool thing that I've researched.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. My point more so is I don't think this is a new concept. I think if you could somehow hop in a time capsule and just ask Julius Caesar whether he saw himself as like ruler of Rome, yeah, I'm sure he was like, one day I'm going to be the leader, or like etc. Like I'm sure if you asked any leader or very successful person, like, did you imagine yourself as doing what you did? And they're gonna be like, absolutely, they did. I think this is just us selling a new term. Like manifestation is the new like. I don't disagree. I think it's absolutely true. I think if you constantly quote unquote manifest yourself doing something, I think that's just really. I think it's just more showcasing that you're someone with a well-developed internal locus of control. You think that I'm going to achieve this particular goal, and it's within my control to do it. It's not, you're not one of those people who are like you're not someone with an external locus control. You don't think that the reason things happen to you is everything's out of your control. It's I can't go for a run today because of the weather, as opposed to I'm going to run today regardless of the weather. It's that old chestnut of whether you think that everything that happens to you happens and it's always like not your fault, or not something that you're not something you're responsible for, or you're the type of person who does have that internal locus and you're like, I'm gonna achieve this goal or exhibit this change because I'm gonna take the steps to do that. And that's just whether you're a proactive person or not.
Yeah, so I think it boils down to that in a really good sense. So I think, again, you've hit the nail on the head. But it kind of goes hand in hand with that thing. It's not something that you're born with, that internal compass to kind of do the right thing, but it's something you develop and something that I've learned to develop as well. Like, again, I know people are going to think that I'm in love with him because I'm talking him up every single podcast, but the things that I've learned from Ryan, put your hand down, Jill. Thank you.
I thought I was going elsewhere, to be honest. I thought Alex Setterfield was getting another mention.
No. The things that I've learned from Ryan are a lot, and I know you're going to sit there and go, you haven't really learned that much, but it kind of runs deep these days. Like there's a lot of things that I think about on a day. And look, I'd love to just turn around and go, I can run 30 kilometers now because I listened to Ryan and I went for daily walks. But it's
Ryan
more
forced me to run 30 Ks. He literally held my feet and just made me run.
It's more of the idealism of sometimes things are shit, sometimes work is shit, but that doesn't mean you need to kind of like be shit at it. Like sometimes it's not all roses.
I think no one stands to ever lose anything by being more accountable. I think if everyone's a little bit more accountable in the sense that they can think, what can I do today to lift myself or out of this situation, or what steps can I take? And I know, I know some people have it shit. Like some people have been dealt a really, really bad hand. But sometimes you look at any success story of any person ever who's had some sort of success and came from a dark place or a bad hand, and it's always going to be, I knew I had it dealt bad, but I took the steps I needed, and I manifested that. I knew what I needed to do, and I started taking these small steps
too, in turning around the tables. Like you've been dealt like a bad hand, but putting that mentality into bettering yourself, because it's like you've been dealt a bad hand. Like you can either like just dwell on it and just live a bad life, or do something for yourself and set yourself up for the future.
Yeah. If life's a game of poker and you've been dealt a bad hand, doesn't mean the rest of the game's going to be bad. So there you go.
There's your magic, mate. That was magic.
From the
beautiful, man. Always had me in tears.
I reckon that's a pretty good That's a pretty good wrap. I reckon we can
I-
get into our end game here.
Yeah, I think if I have any closing thoughts on it, just be careful with these these labels and these personality types, particularly when you're being sold something. Because with these personality types, like we did the test, we got the email, and already in the email there's packages for like how to better yourself and become a better leader. And just remember that this is a product. You are if you like they are selling you something. They are selling you, like if you go to the bottom here, I'm just on the email now. It's like use our premium code, learn and grow. To become a better protagonist and things like that. You are being sold something. So just take these labels and these personality types with a very healthy dose of skepticism. Just because it is a product. It is a commercial product. You are being sold.
Beautiful. Well, very well put. Jaya, you want to get us into the?
Yeah. Cool. So that was us talking about 16 personalities. We did maybe want to talk a bit more into in the future, but we'll see how we go. So I guess moving forward, we'll just go on to the next segment, and that is what's on our plate. Again, that is just
Jaya. Just to, if everyone listening at home, playing at home, chuck it in the comments. Go do the personality test. Tell us what you think about it and what you got. I'm actually interested to know what some people would actually get.
I would love to, in a time from now, whether it be months, years, decades, we go back, we do these tests, and we see what's changed. And you 100%. See whether, like, I think it would just be an interesting thing across the lifespan to see how, and I mean, if you see that over the course of X many years, your personality is constantly changing, I think that's a very strong or a very compelling argument against the validity of these things. Because it's like, well,
correct.
I've been every 4 digits.
Just personality tests for now, though. I mean, they could just say this is a personality test for just now,
absolutely.
not for who you are forever.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Drop down your results. Let us know if you agree, disagree, other thoughts. Again, anyways, moving back to what's on our plate. What are we watching? What are we reading? What's new? I actually started watching three friends of mine. Actually with Tristan, I told you as well, the anime movies. Just
correct.
Yeah, I want to start watching with you guys. Have you guys started?
Time, Garden of Words. What was the other one called? There's a few others. I need to get through with
Weathering with You.
Yeah, Weathering with You.
Did you say The Girl Who Fell Through Time?
Left Through Time, yeah.
Immaculate film.
Yeah,
really sensational. Very, very good.
Anime movies that aren't made by Studio Ghibli, as good as they are, there are other movies out there. I definitely recommend you check out those other ones as well, because some of them are sensational. The animation's crazy. The story is really good too.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll check down a list if you guys.
What's the name of the studio or the producer of Girl Who Leapt Through Time? Because I've seen a few movies from
there's a main guy,
or his studio, I guess, and they've all been
He'd done that, some awards, and I think
that was one. Just grab the list up. While I grab the list up, anyone else?
I'm reading a crazy good book. I'm not too far. I haven't made a dent into it so far, but it's called Pachinko, and it's about a Korean family who, in the 30s, I want to say, that they wed their daughter to a Japanese man, and they all moved to Japan. And it's about their life, and it's about her life settling in Japan. And it's so far, it's amazing.
Cool. How it goes, man. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm rewatching Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, sir.
I still got to finish that.
Yeah.
Didn't get the tattoo.
I'm going to mention it every week.
Amateurs.
Mention it, mate.
I've just started watching Arrested Development, so just dipping my feet in the water, and I've started rereading Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Dude, Wait, do you have that book?
I have it. It's in that room right now.
What? Dude, I've been meaning to read that, man. You're going to let me borrow after you're done.
Yeah, I got a really good edition of it too.
Just get Ryan to read it out loud when he's at home. Yeah. You can listen to him.
Yeah, read it out. Let me just soak it in.
Live podcast.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you reading The Art of War? Are you planning to go to Afghanistan or something? One man army.
Yeah. Ryan takes on the Taliban. One episode of the podcast.
A year later.
Podcast episode.
Ends up getting my dome popped in like a day.
Will.
I've been. Also, I recently got back into a show called Terrace House.
Oh,
Have you guys heard of it?
I love Terrace House.
Dude, it's pretty interesting how so it's a show about 3 guys and 3 girls, and they all have like different occupations and live their own lives, but they live together, and they're just pretty much like nothing's scripted, and they're just recorded on how they interact with each other at home. And it's just crazy how so many like different personality types there are, and how different people interact with each other. And some of them are very extravagant, some of them are very shady. And a lot of the times you can kind of see through it, and you're just like, you know what, this person's pretty fucking shady. And sometimes you'll have a hunch about someone, and you think they're putting up a front, and later on you realize that they really are a snake. So it's pretty fun to watch, and like when all the drama happens, it's pretty crazy.
Just like real life.
It's Big Brother if Big Brother wasn't staged.
Yeah.
It's actually fantastic.
It's Big Brother without Sophie Monk. So
Without Sophie,
sensational.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I got that list. Yeah, I got that list. So
what first, yeah?
I guess building on the last ones I said. So 5 centimeters per second, also a great movie. Children Who Lost Their Voices, Wolf Children,
I was just
Oh,
going to say
Children's
that
a tearjerker.
Wolf Children was
Boy and the Beast,
Big tearjerker.
Silent
I love Boy and
Voice,
the Beast.
Your Name, Mirai. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which I haven't seen, but I've heard really good things about.
Yep.
I've heard really
And
good things
Weathering
about that
With You.
too, but I haven't seen it.
So all those movies on the list, I have to get through them eventually. I don't know how long that's going to take. I still have to watch like Attack on Titan. Still have to finish that.
Yeah.
People have been on my ass about that for ages now.
Yeah.
I feel like
Watch it.
6 episodes left. I need to watch that.
Hey, that's like me for Cowboy Bebop. It's fine.
Dude, you've got
Episodes
one
left.
episode, man.
Yeah, it's so short though.
It's been like that for like 6 months.
Oh, actually, before we go, if there's any basketball fans out there, I'm watching Last Chance U basketball on Netflix, and it's a really, really great series about like the young guys from East LA basketball team, and they've all kind of come up through the real rough, and it's all about them trying to get their chance. Really good watch if you guys like basketball.
All right.
Sick.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. And also, one thing I wish I could say that I've watched would be Shang-Chi, but unfortunately, we can't watch that.
Dude, have you guys heard the album
Nah,
for the movie?
good.
It's
I've gone through
so
it. I
good.
haven't properly.
I was listening to this. I was listening to it this morning with Sean, and dude, most of the tracks are so good.
Yeah, I just really want to watch that movie.
Yeah, there's so many known artists in there. Like,
Good stuff.
a lot of them are Asian, so it really fits the theme of the Asian representation in that movie. And so, yeah, the playlist is actually pretty good. I like
I
it.
might give it a listen. Might give it a listen after this.
Go on,
Yeah, right after this.
listen together. Like,
Yeah, the word for today.
What was it?
Oh,
Gio?
we had one, didn't we? What was it?
What? Oh,
Oh, Bama Jamma.
Bama Jamma.
Bama Jamma.
This way, Bama Jamma is your secret word. You might get some free merch coming to you from D's bedroom.
Pretty much in about
Also, Renew Fitness, repping it. Sponsor us,
Renew,
please.
yeah.
Rudolph.
Hey.
Renew Fitness.
Yeah, Renew Fitness. Yeah, sponsoring. I mean, not sponsoring. Repping our boy Rudolph.
he sponsors us. All right, he has no choice. He's
Where is it? Where's his
That
one?
is into the laundry basket.
Oh man, am I the only one who didn't sell out? Nah, seriously. Rep our boy Rudolph.
Renew Fitness. Shout out to our boy Rudolph.
as our first sponsor, Renew Fitness. Shout out to the boy. You've got no choice. Sorry, man. That's it for today. Thanks everyone for listening once again.
Thank you guys so much.
It's always great having you here. Until next time, we build different. Ciao.
We love you all.
Peace.